Is the Quest 3 the headset that you should buy right now? Should you be rushing out there and picking one of these up? Or are there reasons that you should absolutely not buy a Quest 3 right now? That's what we're going to dive into today. I am Jolly Julian. I'm a passionate VR enthusiast. So let's virtual our reality together. Hi, I'm Jolly Julian, and as you can see behind me, I've got a couple of virtual reality headsets back there. I've got a Quest 2 and a Quest 3 sitting back there along with my Valve Index. Now, what we're going to talk about today is the Quest 3, which is the latest headset from Meta, previously Oculus, the leader really in the world right now of virtual reality hardware. And the Quest 3, make no mistake, is an amazing headset. I absolutely love it. But we're going to talk today about whether you should purchase a Quest 3 right now, or whether you should tell your friends to purchase one, or whether they maybe should wait. I'm Jolly Julian. I've been in virtual reality for about 7 years now. My first headset that I ever had was the HTC Vive Pro. For many years, my daily driver was the Valve Index from Valve back there. Great headset. I absolutely loved it. It wasn't until the Quest 3 that I kind of retired my Valve Index. I still have it here. I'm not getting rid of it, but I just don't use it. I use the Quest 3 every single day. Now that may make you think, okay, you know where I'm going with this, right? I mean, if I love the Quest 3 that much, then I gotta say that people should rush out and buy it. Well, maybe not. Let's wait and see. And what I'm about to say may surprise you on either side of that argument. And speaking of argument, please comment below and let's have a conversation about this. Not an argument, let's have some discourse. Let's have a little bit of debate, because you may agree or disagree with any of the things that I'm going to say here. Let's dive into my thoughts on whether somebody should get a Quest 3 right now. I'm going to bounce back and forth between the pros and the cons here, okay? And we may just try to kind of keep a list here. But let's dive into, first of all, a couple of the things that I think are really great about the Quest 3. Be sure to stick on all the way until the end, because I'm going to give you my number one reason to either buy or not buy a Quest 3 right now, and you may want to check that out. First of all, what is the Quest 3 for anyone who doesn't know? It is a self-contained virtual reality headset that you don't have to connect to a computer, you don't have to connect it to any other console. It has everything it needs inside of it to do really wonderful virtual reality experiences. It's completely tetherless. There's no cable, no nothing. So that's definitely a plus to the Quest 3, but you could also argue that the Quest 2 also has that same ability. Completely tetherless, doesn't need a computer in order to run it, self-contained as well. So, should you get a Quest 3 over a Quest 2? Well, probably not based on that one thing yet. So we got pros and cons going already. Because the Quest 2 right now is running for a very inexpensive price that we will get to later. I mean, for the longest time, it was right around $300, $350, which is still, $150, $200 less than what the Quest 3 is running now. But right now you can get it for even less, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Another great thing about the Quest 3 is that you can play with controllers in your hand, which, controllers will never be fully replaced for me, I don't think. There are certain experiences that having controllers in your hands are really a positive thing. But you can also use hand tracking, where you can set the controllers down, and a lot of the experiences you can play with it tracking your hands in the real world, and you can grab things with your hands and touch things and so forth. And Meta, the company that makes the Quest 3, has been doing incredible things to make strides forward in each and every update that they do to the software to make the hand tracking better and better. The hand tracking as it is today is miles ahead of where it was just a year ago. So that tetherless ability of playing with no tether on the headset and not having to play with controllers in certain experiences, really a wonderful plus for the Quest 3. But the Quest 2, that is less expensive, also has hand tracking as well. Plus and minus there. I mean, the Quest 2 still less expensive than the Quest 3, has the hand tracking as well, and can be played with controllers. The next plus to the Quest 3 is what's called mixed reality. Now, this is where they really are trying to make leaps forward. Now, what do we mean by mixed reality? It's where you're having things, when you put the headset on, you're seeing your own world. The cameras on the headset are showing you your real world, your whole room, and exactly as it is. And then certain things are being brought into it through the virtual reality headset to augment that. So sometimes it's called augmented reality, AR, or mixed reality. AR is really where they're headed with it. Augmented reality. It's where we're augmenting our reality with a virtual presence or a virtual experience. A great example of that would have been Pokemon Go, right? You were using that on your phone, but you would point your phone at something and in it you would see the Pokemon, right? Imagine having a headset on where that's happening in your real world. There's a great experience called First Encounters that I absolutely loved. It was one of the first things I did when I got my Quest 3 because that full color pass-through is wonderful, and that's where the Quest 3 excels. It has full color pass-through rather than the really, really grainy and lower res black and white pass-through that the Quest 2 has. So as far as between the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 definitely wins out on the mixed reality. And there are a lot of experiences now that are adding mixed reality or augmented reality to their experiences, like Drop Dead the Cabin, which you can play in your own house, and it's almost like zombies are breaking into your own house through the windows and doors, and you have to shoot them and fight them off. Really, really cool. One of the wonderful things about virtual reality in general is the ability to be able to do standalone VR, like the Quest 2 and the Quest 3, where you're not tethered to a computer. But you can also tether them either wirelessly or with a cable to a high-end computer and play some amazing jaw-dropping experiences that could never run on at least not today, on a standalone headset that's basically being powered by a high-end smartphone processor. And the Quest 3 is perfect for this. The Quest 2 can also do it, where you can use things like AirLink or Steam Link or Virtual Desktop. Steam Link and AirLink are free. They don't cost you anything, and they will allow you to connect wirelessly over your Wi-Fi signal to your computer and play high-end PC VR, PC virtual reality experiences and games through your headset. Now that opens up a whole nother world where you can play things like Half-Life Alyx or Lone Echo. They are absolutely incredible because what you can do with a PC as far as the processing, with the graphics card and the CPU and all that, you can do things you cannot do with a smartphone processor and have these experiences that truly take you to another world and feel jaw-dropping. Now the Quest 2 can do that as well. But the Quest 3 is so powerful because of the optics that it has. Now, I cannot say enough about this. This, to me, is the thing that makes the Quest 3 so valuable and would be one of the reasons I would say somebody should get a Quest 3. Still not sure whether I'm going to recommend that for people, but the number one reason for me would be the optics. The pancake lenses, they're lenses that have no rings around them. They're not Fresnel lenses that have rings around them. They call them pancake lenses, right? And the sweet spot on it is nice and wide. You know, when you look to the side a little bit, it doesn't get blurry nearly as much as it does on something like the Quest 2. The resolution of the micro LED screens that they have in there are just such high resolution, you really almost cannot make out pixels. You got to really try hard. And that's where the Quest 3 really excels over the Quest 2 in major ways. I mean, I go back to the Quest 2 every so often. Every couple of days, I pop into the Quest 2 to do certain things, usually when I'm doing a workout or something like that. And boy, do I notice the difference right away. The field of view is even better in the Quest 3. It has more, you have a wider range. It doesn't look quite so much like you're looking through goggles or something like that. You've got a wider field of view that you can see through there. And that makes a huge difference as well. So major reason to get a Quest 3 is the optics above everything else for me. That is the number one. That's going to affect everything that you do every single time you get into virtual reality. Now, we're talking pretty much about Meta here with the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. They're both made by the same company. And one of the major positives of that is the Meta ecosystem. They've created the largest, center for virtual reality games outside of possibly Steam. And I don't think even Steam VR now has quite as many different experiences that run really great as the Meta ecosystem does. So if you're looking for the best library of games that you can do in virtual reality, the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 have basically the same library. Right now, there's one or two experiences that you can only get on the Quest 3 and not on Quest 2 as of the recording of this video. But that's only a couple. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of others in all different genres that you can play either on the Quest 2, which is less expensive than the Quest 3, or you can get them on the Quest 3, and they'll look even better on the Quest 3 because of those great optics. Now, things like the Valve Index or the HTC Vive, or even the old Oculus headsets that were tethered into a computer, they don't have quite that ecosystem. They don't have that huge number of games that you have access to immediately. Another major plus for the Quest 3 are the accessories that you can get. You can choose whether you want some of the accessories that'll make the experience even better. For example, great head straps like the Bobo VR head strap, and batteries, external batteries, so you can hot swap batteries out without ever having to shut your headset off. Wonderful things like that that just increase the value of each experience that you have in virtual reality. Now, the Quest 2 has most of those as well. In fact, it probably has just as many, if not more, of the accessories because it's been around a little bit longer. So, again, is that a pro or a con for the Quest 3? I'm not sure. The Quest 2 has just as many, so if comfort and these accessories are a thing that you're going to want, the Quest 2 is just about as good as of now as the Quest 3. One of the other things I sort of already mentioned is how much Meta is updating their software. Now, this goes for both the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. They are constantly updating the software for these headsets, and that's a good thing. Yes, they update quite frequently, but they'll update automatically if you set them that way to do it, so you don't have to remember to do it. But each update that they do, they are increasing the quality of the experience. They're giving you quality of life things with every single update. They're making the augmented reality of the Quest 3 better. They're making the hand tracking better. They're even improving battery life by changing the way the processor is working through software only. The amount of work that Meta is putting into increasing the value of the headset you already have is incredible. And that, again, is an argument for the Quest 3, but it's also an argument for the Quest 2, because as of right now, they are still fully committed to supporting the Quest 2 for many more years. All right, so by now it's got to be feeling like, hey, Julian, you're going to recommend people get the Quest 3. I've been saying an awful lot of really good things about it. The Quest 2 as well. The Quest 3 just kind of edges it out in a number of ways with the mixed reality, the pancake lenses, the optics, all that stuff. But here are some reasons to maybe pause before you hit that buy button. You might want to wait. Rumor has it, in fact, I think this is much more than rumor now, this is pretty much fact, that Meta is going to be coming out with a Quest 3 Lite or a Quest 3S sometime probably yet this year in 2024. Now that's huge, because another headset coming out, and it's coming out that quickly within maybe the next 8, 9, 10 months, then that does give you a reason to kind of maybe pause and think, well, maybe I shouldn't buy their current headset. And there's some validity to that. Now, what I'm hearing is that Quest 3 Lite or Quest 3S, whatever they're going to call it, what it's going to be is it's going to have the same processor that's in the Quest 3, which is the $499 headset, right? My daily driver now. But it's going to have the optics of the Quest 2, the generation ago headset, right? But it's going to have the processor, which is a better processor. It's almost twice as powerful in a lot of ways than the one that was in the Quest 2. But the optics aren't going to be as good. And then they're going to offer it for less money. Now, we don't know how much yet. That's one of the variables. But you can darn well bet it's going to be less than $499. I'm going to guess it's going to be somewhere right around $300, $350, something like that. And it should have the colored mixed reality that Quest 3 has over the Quest 2 instead of that grainy black and white. I think we're pretty sure it's going to have that same augmented or mixed reality color pass-through that will allow you to experience things in your own space. So should you wait and see what happens with the Quest 3 Lite, the Quest 3S, before you make the commitment to get your Quest 3? I don't know. That is a really good question. It really comes down to how much you have to save every single penny. And I understand if every single penny, you got to watch it, that's great. Maybe you want that better processor, that color pass-through, but the optics aren't going to be important enough to you to invest maybe an extra $100, $150, $200 for a Quest 3, the full version that's out right now. Another reason maybe not to get the Quest 3 now is the Quest 2 has never been as inexpensive as it is now. They just dropped the price yet again. Now remember, I said when it originally came out, it was right around $300, $350. I can't remember exactly how much it was when it came out a couple of years ago. And then they dropped the price to $300, and then they dropped it to $250, and now you can get a Quest 2 for $199. Under $200 by $1. But $200 for an incredible standalone headset in the ecosystem of Meta with all of these incredible hundreds of experiences that you have, the Quest 2 is still an amazing headset. So that brings up the question, is the Quest 3 worth the $300 more? You could get two Quest 2s for less than the price of one Quest 3. And that's what it really comes down to for me, is how much are you going to use virtual reality? If you're going to be using virtual reality every day, a little bit every day, or maybe 3-4 times a week for an hour or so, I think that for me that is worth the extra money to get the better optics. The better optics of the Quest 3, I'm not kidding. The difference is it's not negligible. It's a massive difference between the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. That pass-through for augmented reality is really kind of cool. I don't use it a ton, but it is definitely a big boost for being able to see your room, even if all you need to do is click out of your experience without taking the headset off and grab a drink off of your desk. So for me, the Quest 3 is worth every penny more than the Quest 2. But for $199, I recommend you get at least the Quest 2, right? If you're not going to get the Quest 3, you got to get a Quest 2. At least try it out. Worst case scenario is if you don't love it, sell it on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay or something. Maybe you can get $100 for it or $150. You're not out much, but you might just absolutely love it. If you already feel that you're going to love virtual reality, or you've already tried it and you know you like it, spring for the Quest 3, in my opinion. It is absolutely worth the $499 price tag that it has on it right now, in my opinion. And that's all you get. It's my video channel here. You're only getting my opinion. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree. Okay, another reason though that you might want to kind of wait is there's another company out there called Pico. And Pico has been up and down. They're a company out of China. They're owned by the same company that owns TikTok. It's a company called ByteDance. And they had the Pico headset that was really positioning itself to be a competitor for the Quest headsets for a number of years. However, they were never able to sell them in the United States. And over the last year or so, they've laid off a lot of their staff and have ended up saying, or at least alluding to, that they are going to try to be less of a Quest competitor and more of an Apple Vision Pro competitor. They're going more for the enterprise, the higher end, that sort of thing. So Pico may or may not have a new consumer level headset to compete with the Quest coming out, even if they could get it sold here in the United States. So I really would not wait in anticipation for Pico's next headset before making the decision to get a Quest 2 or a Quest 3. In addition, another nice little added value for the Quest 3 is you get an incredible game called Asgard's Wrath 2. It is a AAA 70, 80, 90, 100 hour experience, full immersion, role-playing fantasy kind of game in virtual reality, built from the ground up for the Quest 2 and Quest 3. Well, if you buy a Quest 3 right now, you get Asgard's Wrath for free for a limited time. And that game is a $60 game. That game is incredible. It is really, really mind-blowing. And you get that for free for a limited time only. I think it's going to be happening for a few more months, but you're not going to want to wait. That is another reason to get the Quest 3, because you do not get Asgard's Wrath for free with the Quest 2. All right, if you lasted this long in this video, I commend you. I thank you. And it shows that you really care about making an informed decision. I mean, I could talk for hours on this subject and only scratch the surface. I'm trying to give you just the very quick baseline reasons of whether you should or should not get a Quest 3 right now. And there is one last thing I want to bring up here that could make the difference. This is the one you've been waiting for, and this is the wild card. And that is if Valve is going to release a new headset sometime in the next year or two. Now, there have been rumors for years of Valve, the makers of the incredible Valve Index, which was my daily driver for many years, still one of the best headsets that's ever existed, still selling amazingly well now, 4 or 5 years after it was created. It's an incredible headset. When is Valve going to create the successor to the Index? And will it be a standalone headset that doesn't need to be tethered to a computer? Or will it be another one that you have to have a beefy PC to run it? Or will it be some sort of combination of the two, a hybrid? We don't know. Nobody knows, right? But we're waiting with bated breath. I mean, Valve comes out with another headset. It's going to be very hard for me to not save every penny and buy one, because I've loved what Valve has done up to this point in virtual reality. But as it stands right now, for me, there's not enough information saying that that's coming anytime soon. I would not wait, because then it could be a year or two, and that's a year or two that you have not been experiencing the quality of what the Quest 3 offers you. So in my opinion, as much as I love Valve and as much as I will probably buy Valve's next headset and it might replace the Quest 3 as my daily driver, I would not recommend anybody wait. I would recommend, to bring this to a close, that if you're wondering, do I recommend if you get a Quest 3 now or not? Ultimately, I would say yes. Unless you're not sure if VR is for you. That's the thing. If you're not sure, you've never tried VR, you don't know how much you're going to use it, whatever, then a Quest 2 might be a good place for you to start. But if there's any part of you that thinks you're going to love virtual reality and you're going to be using it a decent amount, make that leap, invest that extra money, and get the incredible optics, those pancake lenses, the great resolution of the screens, the bigger field of view that you have, the wonderful full color pass-through for augmented reality. It is well worth it. The Quest 3, in my opinion, is the best headset out there right now. For the value, for everything that you get, for the attention that Meta is giving it, the updates, all of that, I cannot recommend a Quest 3 highly enough. I'm not getting paid anything by Meta to say this. They don't even know I exist. I'm too small potatoes. I'm just saying what I've experienced. There's a reason that headset back there gets used every single day. And that's because that headset is absolutely amazing in my opinion. I love it. I have not regretted for 1 second the $500 that I put into getting that. But whatever you do, give virtual reality a try. Spread the love that is virtual reality to your friends, to your family members. Get in there and do social experiences together. I hope to run into you in the virtual world myself at some point. Again, I am Jolly Julian. If you liked this video at all, please hit that subscribe button. Not for me, but do it for you if you liked this at all, because my goal is to keep bringing you good, energizing, passionate, true VR content coming from somebody who loves this. I'm not in this making money. I'm in this because I absolutely just love using virtual reality every day, and I want to help other people enjoy it too. This is Jolly Julian, heading into the virtual world, signing off. Take care, everyone.